Hey everybody, Dr. Eric Plasker here. So excited to be with you. Thank you for being on the line, for joining us for this webinar. We're excited what a difference it's going to make in your life. We're going to talk about energy today, how to find it, where it's going to come from. Here's a little hint. It's not hiding under a rock, and it's not going to cost you a penny. It's something that you're going to be able to access literally right away, instantaneously, even during this call, and you'll be able to sustain it. I want to thank the doctors that are on the line, chiropractors, so many of them from all over the country and all over the world. We have trained 7,000 of you over the years. Appreciate your support, your trust, your leadership in your community. We couldn't do it without you being on the ground in your community. You are so important to this vision, making a difference for so many people. I want to, on top of that, especially thank our 100-Year Lifestyle affiliate doctors, chiropractors, who are just really committed to this leadership conversation and message in their community, helping so many people and making such a difference for so many people. I want to thank all of the brothers, sisters, cousins, friends, all of you that are on the line. Thank you for being here. We're really excited to be with you. We're going to start talking about energy. We'll give about another minute for people to join us. I want to give a shout out to those of you that asked questions last week. Thank you for asking questions last week. That was beautiful. Somebody asked a question last week, like, what breaks your heart? I think was some version of the question, and I got so much feedback on that about the authenticity of what we're doing and how it's coming across. And you know what, this is serious. I'm in Marietta, Georgia. There's assisted living centers all over the place. They're popping up all over. Why is this happening? Because we are getting the advance notice that our parents and grandparents never received, that we are going to live longer than we ever thought, and we need to live differently. Not rot away, not hooked on 25 medications, not squandering our human potential and our wisdom, trapped in a body and a mind that cannot function anymore, not because of age, but because we were blindsided. They were blindsided by their age. So we're going to do it differently. It has to start with how we raise our families, how we think, how we function, what we do, and we're going to cover a lot of that today as we discuss energy. So I'm going to do a last-minute test with our team to make sure that everything is working, that the sound is working. You can see my screen okay? Can you hear me okay? Yep. All right. So everything is good from that perspective. All right. So here goes, everybody. Welcome, everybody, to this webinar today on finding the energy to change your life, youthful energy at every age. We are so excited that you've joined us and that you are continuing this journey. Some of you have shared this with family, friends, co-workers. You're starting to get some momentum already. In just 7 days, we've heard of people that are they're not losing weight anymore. They're eating healthier and they're getting better because of how they're eating and how they're moving. They're not looking to just focus on what they've lost or what they're going to lose, but what they're going to gain, not just for today, but for decades. That's the advantage when you start understanding the principles of the 100-Year Lifestyle, is that the changes that you make today, you don't only enjoy them today, of course you do, but you get to enjoy them for decades. And what often comes up with people is this issue about energy. And we're going to cover that in so much detail today, but it's simplicity in detail, which is, I think, one thing that and we're not going to leave you hanging. We're going to give you very specific things to do to immediately change your life and access more energy. And what's really cool about this is when you understand this principle of energy, you realize that, you know what, hey, wherever you focus your energy, that's where it goes. We're going to talk a lot about focus. You know, right now, there are so many different things that you could focus on. You could focus on your goals, your vision, your life, your peace, your understanding, your talents, your skills. So many of us have assets around us that we don't even acknowledge because we're focused on the one or two or three little things that may be big things, maybe they're important things, but why is it that we live in a world where we make the bad things so much more important than the good things? We need to start focusing on all of those things that are abundant around us that will give us energy, because wherever you focus your energy, that's where it goes. As a chiropractor practicing for 33 years, what has been always very exciting and inspiring to me is that we'll work with people and see them instantaneously or within 2 or 3 visits, or some people, if they're really chronically ill, maybe it'll take 30 days or 60 days. And then we see the people that make the critical transition from crisis care to lifestyle care, and we see them a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years later, younger and healthier than they were when they started, even though they're a year, 5 years older. You can do this. It's all a matter of where you focus your energy. So we're going to talk about energy today in a lot of different ways, bringing up and starting what we talked about last week, motivation. So many of us have been crisis motivated for such a long time. We live from crisis to crisis to crisis to crisis. And if there's not a crisis, we create one because we don't even know how to function without a crisis. We watch the news. It's crisis after crisis after crisis after crisis. You read the newspaper. You read a lot of the online newspapers, and it's all crisis after crisis after crisis. Why? Because that's what gets people's attention. We have bought into the fact that it's all about managing crisis. Our healthcare system, which is completely broken, by the way, it is completely dysfunctional and broken. It is a crisis-oriented system. It is not a healthcare system. It was never intended to be a healthcare system. Even if you had a disease and it was treated, it was more about disease treatment than it was on long-term health and well-being and prevention and proactivity. And we want you to think differently about all of these things. So if having crises has been your primary motivator for change in the past, your clothes don't fit, you don't have any money, you have relationship stress. If crisis has been your motivator to get off your butt and do things, it is time to make some changes and change your motivation to quality of life motivation. And if you need an extra boost, this is what we tell our doctors to tell their patients, our 100-Year Lifestyle affiliates that we work with, who we spend a lot of time, we'll say, hey, instruct your patients, if they're not willing to change, to go into a nursing home or assisted living center and smell the smells. Take a good look around. These beautiful souls, these beautiful people, so many of them trapped in minds and bodies that are not deteriorating because of age. They are deteriorating, so many of them, because they've had a lifetime of medication, a lifetime of bad habits. Hey, they grew up in an age where 26,000 doctors smoke Lucky Strikes. It's the recommended smoking cigarette. I mean, this is what they grew up in, this older generation. And so a lot of the habits, eating margarines, processed food, and so many things that are not good for you, so many things that were not accurate that we've learned are so bad. These people, it's a miracle that they even live this long. And so the fact that we have these genes, the same ones that they have, and we have an opportunity to make different choices and live differently, we can have the outcome of our lives be like those people around the world that are living healthy, quality lives to 80, 90, 100 years and beyond. So listen, you know the things that you need to change. If there are things that you can't change, that you don't have control over, remember that serenity prayer. God, give me the strength to change the things that I can, and to the wisdom to know about the things that I can't change and not try to change them. And I completely screwed up that serenity prayer, but you know the one I'm talking about. There are things that you have control over, and there are things that you don't. If you focus on the things that you have control over, your body, your heart rate, your breathing, your choices, your vision, your work, all of those things, we're going to start taking action on those things today. Remember the 3 life-changing principles from last week, and let's holistically get into energy. Because here's the thing, some of you are exhausted. You are just fried. What you must acknowledge and understand in order to change is that it is not your age that is exhausting you. It's not your age, it's not your job, it's not your genes, it's not your family, and it's not your environment. It is how you choose to use your energy. It is how you choose to use your energy. So write this down, those of you that are taking notes. Your energy is a choice. Your energy is a choice. How you choose to use your energy. That is the foundation of these principles that we're going to talk about as it relates to energy, is that your energy is a choice. You get to decide where your energy goes. There's a law in physics. It's called the law of conservation of energy. And you don't have to be a physics major to understand this. And I'm going to give the paraphrased version of this law. It says that energy cannot be created or destroyed, but it can be transferred into different types of energy. So what does that mean as an example, and how does that apply to you? We all know that there's potential energy where I'm holding this clicker, for example, up, or a ball, and then we have gravity, right? So this is potential energy. This has the potential to fall. If I let it go, it becomes kinetic energy. It moves. It's a different type of energy. This one here, where it's potential, it's stored energy. And then when it's released, bam, you get movement. That's exactly what's going to happen for you when you take these energy exercises, you do these energy transformation strategies that we go over here. And we all see it with electrical energy, turning it into kinetic energy. You turn your car on, you start the engine, you send electricity through, it starts the engine. So now the energy, the electrical energy, can become mechanical energy, it can become kinetic energy as the car starts to move. So there are examples of this energy that are all over your world. You are surrounded by these examples of energy. We want you to apply a lot of these principles to your own life, to your own world, so that literally tomorrow, even though it's one day later, you'll feel 1 year younger. And then in a week from now, even though it's 7 days later and you're 7 days older, you will feel 7 years younger. This energy that right now is being spewed all over the place uncontrollably in so many different places for many of us, we're going to do this. You ready? Watch. We are going to zoom in and focus our energy to the things that are really important to us. And so what I want you to do is there's an exercise. It's really simple. And by the way, if you haven't gotten the ebook yet, let us know. Send us a reminder. We'll send you the ebook. We may have missed some of you, but you're going to get the ebook. It has these exercises in it. So just email us. We'll get you the this piece, which is in that ebook on action plan for lifelong change. And so let's take a look at the personal energy inventory so you can regain youthful energy literally right now. If you take, what I want you to do is I want you to watch yourself like you're watching a movie. We talked about that last week. You watch yourself like you're watching a movie, and then you become aware of what are the things that are happening in your world that are draining your energy, and what are the things that feed your energy and keep your energy stored up or keep you happy. So as an example, maybe sugar is an energy drainer, maybe caffeine, maybe stress, maybe overreacting to things. I'm going to step forward so I can read this a little bit better. Maybe arguing with your spouse, maybe not exercising, stress, drama, big thing here, which is an energy drainer. I'm going to talk about drama for a minute because there's a lot of drama out there in the world. If you have something that needs to be done, a meeting that needs to be had, a conversation that needs to be had, a project that needs to be had that is overwhelming to you, and let's say that project is an hour project. You can either spend an hour on that project or you could spend 100 hours on that project. Here's the hour, you do the project. Here's the 100 hours. The drama leading up to, oh, I got this big project. Oh, it's overwhelming to me. Oh, I'm so worried about it. Oh, this, oh, that. And you bring all this drama to the project that would only take an hour. But you turn it into a 100-hour project because of all the drama. Well, that's 99 hours in this exaggerated case, but for some of you, not really exaggerated. That's 99 hours of wasted energy. Think about traffic. If you sit in traffic for 30 minutes, well, that's traffic. But if you talk about the traffic for an hour and a half when you arrive at your destination, then you've turned a half hour of what is potential stress, which it doesn't have to be, by the way, into an hour and a half of energy draining stuff. So this is just an example of some of the places where we leak energy all over the place. I'm going to give you a few others. Maybe being overweight, interruptions, overscheduling your day, saying yes when you mean no, overworking, not taking any playtime, not having any balance. By the way, we are going to talk about that. One thing that's been so cool with the doctors that we have worked with directly over the last however many years, almost 20 years, and the patients that we've worked with, and seeing the doctors that we've worked with help their patients understand the importance of prime time, prep time, and playtime, and organizing your life in that way, which, by the way, that'll be a part of this 100 Healthy Days program down the road. You're going to love it if you understand how important playtime is and you truly take it. You truly take it. You'll be amazed about how letting go, how much your creativity soars, how much your stress goes down, your heart rate goes down, your health improves dramatically. You'll love it. So these are just some of the examples of energy drainers. What are some energy enhancers? Maybe it's speaking your truth. Maybe it's taking action on your goals, showing up on time, keeping your word, following through on what you say you're going to do, keeping promises to yourself. These are all energy gainers. These are all things that instantaneously, as you do them, you're aware of it. You leave an interaction with a person that you like. You come away from that interaction, like, I feel great after that interaction. I feel younger after that interaction than I did before the interaction, even though I'm 1 hour older or 30 minutes older. If you understand this principle and you can apply it in everything that you do, you will love how your entire world changes, because you will start to feel younger, even though you're 1 minute older, 1 hour older, 1 day older, 1 year, 10 years older. So following through, reading good books. We're blessed. We get amazing feedback from people that read the 100-Year Lifestyle, people that I've never met all over the world. It's been out for over a decade. The second edition has gone ballistic. People love it. People responding to 100yearlifestyle.com, the content, it's energizing for people. There are lots of great books out there. Maybe it's fiction. Maybe you need to start reading some fiction books to escape every now and then. That's a beautiful thing. But get into figuring out for you, what are your personal energy drainers? What are your energy gainers? Eating healthy foods, being grateful, prayer, absolutely important. Taking supplements if there are some that you know that you like. Date nights with your spouse, your partner, focusing on the positive, having faith, standing up for yourself. These are all things that are energy enhancers. And I didn't go through all of them on this list. You'll get them in the ebook. You could read the list. What's more important than this list is your list. Your list, your personal energy inventory is the single most important thing. Why? Because it's personal to you. I'll give you an interesting perspective as a chiropractor taking care of so many people. We have people that are under lifestyle care and performance-based care. They just come in because they understand the importance of a healthy nervous system and a healthy spine as a part of a lifestyle. And we find that when people within themselves, they find the best frequency that's right for them. For some people that are training for marathons, it's 3 times a week for some of those people. For some people that are just saying Om 5 times a day, meditating 5 times a day, they have no decay or deterioration in their spine. Om, maybe for those people it's once a month, maybe even less frequently than that. You have to find the routine for your lifestyle care. You could work with your provider, your chiropractor. They'll help you figure it out. That's just one example. It has to be personal for you. If you have a lot of stress in your life, you need to do more of these things that are energy gainers and energy enhancers. If you have less stress, then you don't need to pay as much attention to those things. It's really important, though, that you make your list. And celebrating successes, celebrating special occasions, very, very important. So watch yourself like you're watching a movie over the next 7 days. We're going to convene next week. We're going to talk about fitness, neurology, nutrition, endurance, strength, and structure. We're not done yet, by the way. We're halfway through. I just want you to understand that we're going to keep building on having you live your ideal 100-year lifestyle. So watch yourself like you're watching a movie. And then in the moment, you're going to start to shift energy drainers to energy gainers. And so you'll notice that you will literally, in the moment, and there is no shortcut for you. Nobody could breathe for you. Nobody could sleep for you. Nobody can sweat for you. And nobody can make choices for you. You have to have the self-awareness and make those choices for yourself. This personal energy inventory is a great start. Now, what you're going to notice is you're going to notice that you have patterns. There are patterns that you have that is going to fall into one of 5 different categories. So these, we call them in the 100-Year Lifestyle, we call them dominant energy patterns. This is personal to you. Everybody's different. It's not, well, I live in Marietta. There's a lot of people that live in Marietta, and you have your own personal patterns. It's not the Marietta pattern. It's not Marietta's fault. It's not the New York fault. It's not the Spring Valley fault. It's not the California fault. It's not the Iowa fault. It's you. You have to be aware of and be willing to confront your own patterns. Let's go through them briefly. You can explore these more in the 100-Year Lifestyle, in the Longevity Solution, which is an audio product that we have if you want to. This will give you an amazing start. The first pattern is destructive patterns. Destructive patterns are addictions. People are addicted today, maybe you, addicted to drugs. Many people are addicted to drama. People are addicted to spending. People are addicted to sugar. People are addicted to caffeine. People are addicted to all kinds of shopping. People are addicted. There's all kinds of addictions out there. Now, you may be one of those people, and you may not be one of those people. It's up to you to identify. It's up to you to identify what your addictions are if you have them. Be honest with yourself. Come on, listen, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for being with us. You're taking your time. Your time is valuable. So we want you to confront these things in a way that help you change your life long term. So be honest with yourself about the addictions. We're going to give you the solution in just a minute. I'm going to go through these 5 things first. The second pattern, this is a survival pattern. This is, well, how you doing? Well, I'm getting by. Just getting by. I'm just surviving. I'm just getting by. And no matter what happens, you find yourself in survival. Let's say you're doing great. Many people, they'll create a crisis to get back into survival. No, this is a pattern. It is very important that you have the self-awareness. If you want to change, you don't have to do it, but if you want to change, make lasting change, 100 healthy days, enjoy a sensational century, start living your ideal 100-year lifestyle, it is very important that you be honest with yourself if this is the pattern that you're in. This could be with your relationship. This could be with your money. This could be with your work. This could be with so many things where you're just getting by. So we want to break this pattern. We're going to get into it, how, in just a minute. Next, complacency patterns. This is lazy and uncommitted. Waiting around, lazy and uncommitted. Oh, yeah, I'm just complacent. Why? Because, I don't know, I don't really have anything I want to do, and I have no goal, and I don't have the talent, or, I don't have the hair, or I don't have the height, or whatever it is. It wasn't meant to be. It's not in my family history. I don't have the genetics, so I'm just kind of going to mosey along complacently through life. Now, listen, I'm not judging you if that's the pattern that you're in. I want you to make a conscious choice if it's acceptable to you and that's where you want to be. If you say, you know what, I'm in a complacent time in my life, I don't want to really take anything on right now, I got no problem with that, and neither should you. But if you're in denial and you're blaming the world, you're blaming the traffic, you're blaming the economy, you're blaming the president, you're blaming the governor, you're blaming the police department, you're blaming the teachers, you're blaming the drug companies or whatever, it's time to take the responsibility for the choices that you make. Listen, there are so many people from the standpoint of patterns, they are taking medications like candy. Tylenol is not aspirin. It is not candy. Statins, you should rethink and reevaluate the things that you're taking and do some current homework about all the baloney that is being taught to people with trillions of dollars worth of advertising, teaching people lies, misinformation, faulty research, falsified research. You need to wake up and become conscious as an individual if you want things to change. Come on, can't be complacent. You got to take charge. Next, comfort patterns. Listen, if you know deep down that you're capable of more than you're currently doing right now, and on some level it's kind of eating at your stomach and churning at your stomach a little bit, then you know what? You need to step up your game. You're in a comfort pattern. What you have to decide if you're in a comfort pattern is this where I choose to be in the moment? And then you get okay with it, and then you get more energy because you're letting go. Do you follow me? But if you know deep down that you're capable of more and you're ready to make some changes, then it is time to take it on and start making the changes you know that you need to make. Because if you're comfortable, if you're in a comfort pattern, and somehow it's eating at you, then the comfort is not so comfortable, is it? So it's time to start thinking about your human potential pattern. That's what living your ideal 100-year lifestyle is all about. Man, I want to live in a world where people like you that are on the line, my chiropractic colleagues around the world, the nutritional specialists that I have relationships with, the brain development people that I have relationships with, my family, friends, coworkers, all these people that around the world that we work with. I want to live in a world where everybody's functioning at their highest level for a lifetime, and we take our decades and decades and decades of wisdom as time goes on, and we apply them to bigger and better and greater things. Come on, how cool is that? And if you're new to our stage, our platform, the answer to that question, how cool is that, is way cool. That's how cool it is. So listen, it's about the journey. Don't judge yourself. Remember, do the personal energy inventory. In the moment, make conscious choices. Energy gainers, switch them to energy enhancers. You will notice that as you let go and as you choose your focus, that things that used to bother you don't bother you anymore. Things that used to bring you down or wear you out or fatigue you don't bother you anymore. And you all of a sudden, your innate energy, as we call it in the 100-year lifestyle, your innate energy will soar. Your neurology will kick in, and all of the resources that your body is using for survival or to manage the drama get freed up. So the energy is innate energy. It comes from deep down within you. It's already working to run your body, and now instead of keeping you surviving, it gets rechanneled to give you the energy that you need to thrive. So what do? You watch yourself like you're watching a movie. There's a great article on 100yearlifestyle.com. It's called The Movie of You. I want you to read it. I want you to share it. It'll make a big difference for you. And then, again, very simple. You're conscious. You're aware. You catch yourself in the middle doing an energy drainer, and in the moment, you stop and make a different choice. You stop. Calm your body. I was getting a little wound up there. Calm your body and make a different choice. And if you can be that aware and you can be that conscious, literally you will change your life. And if you do that on a regular basis, here's what's going to happen. Some of you, you're going to feel like you need to do that 1,000 times a day. And then in a week, maybe you'll only have to do it 100 times a day if you're consistent. And then maybe you'll only have to do it once a day. And then maybe once a week, and then once a month, and then once a year, because your energy will soar and it will be a new habit. And that's when it gets exciting. And then what happens is if you ever find yourself getting off track and going back into old patterns, it's only one of 5 patterns. You catch yourself in that pattern and then recommit yourself right away, getting back on track with your next choice. And starting today, right now, and tomorrow, make your thoughts matter. Your first thought, your first action, your first feeling. New moment right now. What am I going to think? What am I going to act? How am I going to act? What am I going to feel? Listen, I'm a very feeling, heartfelt person. Ask my wife, ask my kids. I'm like a little mush ball. I cry at weddings. I cry at events. I cry at celebrations. I cry at stupid movies. I'm serious. I'm a mush ball. And here's what I have learned about feelings, is that feelings are a choice too. Think about this. Have you ever felt really stressed out and bad about something, and then a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 2 years, whatever it is later, you realize, wow, I feel totally different about that circumstantial situation than I feel right now. I feel better about it. It's what I learned. It's what I needed to learn. It helped propel me. And so if you know that that's how this is all going to play out, then be conscious with your thoughts, your actions, and your feelings. And every single day, starting today, you choose when you wake up in the morning that you choose your first thought, you choose your first action, you choose your first feeling. This is the way that you start every day breaking those addictions, breaking those patterns, and setting yourself on a course for personal choice. My friends, my colleagues, my family, listen, I'm so happy that you got to join us. Let's take some questions. Let's take some comments. I want to let you know that next week we're going to be going over fitness, neurology, nutrition, endurance, strength, and structure. We're going to help you understand why you have recurring injuries, why you're not breaking through plateaus, things like that, why you have pain that recurs, why you feel like you need to take medications to cover up how you feel, how you can get over all of that. We're going to be going over that next week on our live webinar on 100 Year Lifestyle Fitness. We're excited about that. Let's take some questions and or comments. Thanks for being on the line, everybody. So I'm going to move forward here. Let's see what we got. We got some questions. Let's see. What if you tried everything, but there are circumstances in life that are keeping you stuck? Okay, so what you're asking is what if you've tried everything and you have not been able to break the pattern of being stuck? So what we just talked about on this call and what we talked about last week, remember, change is easy, thinking about change is hard. So commit to the change. Don't be on the fence about it. Don't make the change. It's not like I'm going to diet, lose the weight, and then stop. No, it's I'm going to eat healthy as a part of a lifestyle. I'm going to make fitness as a part of a lifestyle. I'm going to get adjusted as a part of a lifestyle. I'm going to be nice to my spouse as a part of a lifestyle. I'm going to not argue unless it's really important to me. I'm not going to start trouble. I'm not going to create debates or problems. Whatever it is for you, you watch yourself like you're watching a movie and you break your own pattern. The 3 life-changing principles, the personal energy inventory, first thoughts, first actions, and first feelings, being consistent will break you through as a part of a lifestyle. There is no shortcut, and you can do it. Thank you for asking your question, Philip. Appreciate it. All righty. Anybody else? Questions, comments? Well, got another one. Let's see. All right. I tend to beat myself up. How can I stop? So listen, beating yourself up, destructive pattern, destructive pattern. Okay, so if you tend to do that to yourself, listen, nobody's perfect. Remember, life-changing principle number 2 is life-changing principle number 1 is change is easy, thinking about change is hard. Life-changing principle number 2 is change comes one choice at a time. Think progress, not perfection. Choice is, in this case, to stop beating yourself up. The other side of that, because that doesn't help you, then what you do is you say, okay, well, that's an energy drainer. What's the energy enhancer? To powerfully, positively talk to yourself. Don't tell yourself what you're doing wrong. Tell yourself what you can do right. Start to ask different questions. How can I be more effective today? Listen, there's a black hole that people go down that kind of makes me crazy a little bit for them. And it's, they ask the question, oh no, what's wrong with me? There's a million answers to that question, and at least half of them are not good. You should not ask that question. Nobody's perfect. Here's a much better question. How can I be more effective today? How can I be a better father or mother today? How can I be a better son and daughter or spouse today? How can I stop taking things personally so that I can be my best self? These are much better questions. So we'll get to that later on in a lot of detail. It's also in the ebook if you want to jump ahead. And it's in detail in the 100-Year Lifestyle, second edition, by the way. And the ebook is just an action plan with some things that you could jot down and start to think about. It's like an exercise type workbook. The 100-Year Lifestyle takes you through it in detail. The Longevity Solution takes you through it in detail. This 100 Healthy Days program will take you through this in detail. But that's a great way to get you started in the right direction there. Questions, comments? Anybody else? All righty. Well, listen, everybody, I am so glad that we got to spend this time together. For those of you that are have not yet registered for next week's webinar, you're going to get an email that has you register. Make sure you not only register for yourself, but forward it on to family members and friends. We want to have them come along for the ride. Doctors that are on the line, chiropractors, listen, if you are an affiliate, keep spreading the word amongst your patients in your community. We want to help change your community. There are some of you that are doctors on the line that would probably love to learn more about becoming a 100-Year Lifestyle affiliate. You know what? Go to 100yearlifestyle.com, click on Become a Provider, and fill in that form. We'll contact you. We'll let you know how you could participate and be more involved in what we're doing. Listen, we are committed more than ever to making these changes in the planet and the world in every community through programs like this and through those of you who are taking this leadership message out to the world. Thanks for being on the line, everybody. See you next week. Good job.